Hello, this is the video to accompany the eBay listing for the Royal Worcester Royal Lily pattern plate part T set. Um, so I'll start with, so this is really just to give more detail about the condition because my dad, when he's listing this, there's only 24 images. Um, so, and it's difficult to describe um, everything, so many individual items. So basically, I'll start with the side plate. Um, so there's three main issues I want to cover. So the first thing is the rubbing and wear, rubbing and of the gilt gilding pattern detailing. Um, so you see that, for example, on this first plate here, you see, and you'll notice particularly in this central motif, there's a lot of loss of that gilding. Um, so let me perhaps just go through all of them and show that on each individual plate. Um, it's more so the centrally less issue with the outer detailing. This one you can see it's almost entirely rubbed off. The gold color is almost entirely rubbed off, and there's quite a lot of rubbing here. Again, quite a lot of rubbing here. So the second issue I want to mention. Okay, I'll just mention this other one now, which is there's not actually that much utensil scratching, but there is some. You can see a bit here, this sort of like superficial linear scratching. I think this plate has, yeah, you can see a scratch here. Um, and some scratches here. Just visible under bright light conditions. Again, here you see the scratches here. If I zoom in. I would say it's quite mild scratching given the age of these plates. I mean, these are um, mid to late Victorian, so late Victorian, I guess you'd say. Okay, so and the final thing is there on the outer rim. There's this red line, enameled line, and there is it is variably affected, but there's these small like flea bites to the enamel, not involving the underlying ceramic, just these small chips, these you know uh, uh what I'd just call like nibbles, if you like, nibbles to the glaze, to the enamel. Uh, so this one's not too bad. It's a little bit there. This is something perhaps more of an issue with the saucers when we get to that. This one is more affected here. You could definitely see it there. Yeah, you can see it. That's quite prominent there, actually. And again, no, that's just light, isn't it? That's just light. Oh no, that's Yeah, that's just light, the way the light's reflecting in it. So yeah, again, this one has quite a lot there. It's not that, it doesn't detract that much actually from the plates, from these side plates. But you might see it more of an issue when we come on to the saucers. Okay. So now I'll move on to, I think, to the teacups. Okay. So moving on to the teacups. I'll just go through the issues again in order. So starting with the kind of the gilt gilt loss rubbing. Quite a lot, really quite a lot of it lost. I mean, there's really just small bits of it left in the central motif. You know, this one much better actually. Um, and again, much less loss on the. If I can just show you, there's some rubbing on the near the top of near the rim, but it's much less prominent, and you still see all the leaves and the geometric details there. If I just, sorry, it's not focusing very well. Yeah, okay. If I zoom in a bit, you see quite a few of these these original, like kiln specs. Um, it's actually, yeah, that's an original imperfection. Again, that's quite a prominent example there again as well. But as I say, the gold detailing is quite preserved on these upper uh, this upper band here on the inside of the cup. And also on the outside, it's quite well preserved. Yeah, I don't know if I need to show that on all of them because they're all quite well preserved. One thing that is quite variable is the handle. For example, you see this one; it's quite well preserved, whereas there's other, um, again, quite well preserved, that detail there. But whereas other ones somewhere there, but there's ones that are worse affected. And I think we've taken an image. Yeah, look here, quite a lot of rubbing on that one compared to some of the others, and again, rubbing on that one, where a bit of rubbing centrally on that one, but still quite good. Okay, moving on to that second issue of the scratching, utensil scratching. You see a bit of that here under direct light, centrally. Again, here you see fairly quite a lot, comparatively quite a lot of scratching under direct light. Yeah, that's quite a good angle there. And again, similarly here. There. Um, okay, yeah, similar. They're all quite similar actually. Mild to moderate scratching. Um, okay, moving on to the last thing, which is what's the last thing? Oh yeah, the red enamel. Yeah, again, quite moderate, moderately affected with the nibbling to the red enamel. You can see line on the rim line. And it's mostly visible from the looking down on the cups here, more prominent there perhaps. Quite a lot there. Yeah, quite a lot here. Quite a lot here, I suppose. Yeah. Still feel, I mean, the edge still feels smooth. It's quite a superficial. It doesn't feel. There's absolutely no involvement of the underlying ceramic. It's just very superficial nibbling. Okay, so okay, that about does it for these. I'll now move on to the saucers. Okay, now for the saucers. Interestingly, this central motif is very well the gold color is very well preserved compared to the other things I was showing, the other pieces I was showing you, with one exception, this one where it's really affected. So again, it's quite variable. That's the otherwise. I probably don't need to show you too much of the the gilding. It's pretty well preserved. Oh well, I suppose I should show you centrally. Yeah, there's quite a lot of loss to inner this inner panel area here, just outside the inner base. Yeah, this one's quite affected with there. Yeah. Oh wow, yeah, here you can really see there's a lot of loss there. So this one's been really quite affected. Moving on to looking at this utensil scratching. It's not very. I think there's not a big issue for. It's perhaps surprisingly for, I don't know. I suppose these are saucers, so some scratching there. And not surprisingly, there's a bit more scratching here. Okay, and moving on to the enamel, the red enamel line. So it's not too bad, except in these two plates I've got here. So this one, we do have an image of this, in close-up image of this in the listing, but you can really see how it's much more affected. And not surprisingly, again, this one, quite a lot of the loss of the red enamel there. It does overall. This one is the least attractive of the plates because of all the issues I've mentioned. Okay, so I think that about does it. Thanks very much.